All right, I'm here with Janko Paunovic, analyst, former pro. That's fine, go ahead. So how are you finding the matches so far?
Yeah, I think it's been super exciting. Obviously surprising the way Astralis is getting like dominant wins, even though playing with Dennis. Just at this point, 3 wins, coinciding wins and a tie. But yeah, I think the format has been super exciting in general. Like you have a lot of close games, a lot of explosive games, and still into round 5, you're not 100% sure who's going to make it.
I asked Dupree about Dennis working out in the team, and he basically just said he's plug and play, and basically just goes where he goes and does what he does. Is it possible long term to have teams that just smash tournaments like these with stand-ins?
I think it's more of a one-off thing. Like what they have going their way. Obviously, Dennis is really skilled and experienced. It's also the fact when you're playing with a stand-in, no one really knows what type of a style you're going to roll out with. Similar to how SK had that at Epicenter, managed to go on and win the whole thing. Now, obviously you lose an element of team play, an element of structure when you have a guy just coming in. Maybe he can't fill all the gaps that you need to be filled, but every now and then it can work out. But I don't really expect it to become a thing, so to speak.
Other than that, do you think that because of the unfortunate delays yesterday, having to play the entire tournament in one day, so basically, 4 best of ones plus the best of 3 for the finalists, how is that going to affect the quality of the CS being played?
I don't think it's the end of the world. Like when these teams, practice, for example, they play 4 hours on out. A sole best of 5 series can last longer than this day can. There was also a little break between the 2 games that were played. They were streamed, but not really done by the crew properly. So there was a break between that. So I think like 5 best of ones and a best of 3, it's not really the end of the world for these guys. There are a couple of breaks as well. You can grab some food, you can get some rest. So I don't think it really influences it all that much.
I wanted to ask you a bit more of a local question. So the Hungarian government just approved a $7.5 million bursary to host a tournament and basically improve esports in the country. Well, apart from that, Fox making it a major in January, we don't really have much on the map in terms of CSGO. If you had that kind of money, where would you put the resources to improve?
Well, you've got game agents. They've been doing all right at WESG. But
yeah, they drew with Virtus Pro yesterday.
I think what you want to do is basically try and create a fan base, try to create the culture of esports a little bit. And because you don't really have strong like Hungarian teams or Serbian teams or wherever in the region, you want to take your pick. What you want to do is try to grow that basically, so invest some of that money into like higher prize pools for some of the online leagues, right? That's going to motivate more players to make teams, take CS a bit more seriously. That's going to raise the skill level. So start off with something like that, and if another thing is, do you use that money to maybe draw one of the tournament organizers to create a tournament, for example, in Budapest? That might be something cool, but in order to do that, you either start off with something small, a smaller arena, because you want it to be full, obviously. And maybe a combination of the two, right? Making an event and then showing people how exciting it can be to actually follow esports. That might be a really cool way, in addition to growing the actual, foundation of the scene from within, from the local scene.
Relating to the local scenes, what do you think is the secret that Denmark is basically just churning out CS talent?
Man, I've been here for a while. Like I've been here for all of Pro League online season. It's always raining, it's always wind, it's always cold. There's no sun. So basically, the only thing you can do is sit inside and play games. I mean, I feel like that's the main reason why they're so good at games. But jokes aside, I guess it's a mentality thing to an extent as well, right? When they play, they take the game more seriously than maybe some of the other regions do, and once you have a good foundation in terms of like Denmark also has a lot of in-game leaders, so you have guys who are going to teach the younger, hot-headed but skilled players how you should play the game. That's when you just keep churning out more talent, and that's why they have 3 very strong teams internationally.
So you're saying that basically the elders like Zonic and Raga take these youngsters under their wings and basically show them the mentality, or is it more down to the nitty-gritty tactical level?
Yeah, but it's also guys like Glaive, guys like Hunden, guys like Barry, the guys who find those players first, and then Astralis comes in or North comes in and they pick them up, but they pick up established players, right, who understand how the game needs to be played on the highest level. Yes, there's always some fine-tuning to be done, but most of it looks pretty fine. So I think it's more the mentality and the approach than it is, you know, the tactical side of it itself. That's something that you can always teach a player, but you can't teach them how to act and what their approach needs to be when they come to practice or when they play an official game.
So do you think like a top tier team like an Astralis or a North, something to, you know, strive for, to achieve, to be playing in, is important for the development of the younger people trying to get into like professional Counter-Strike?
I mean, absolutely, but when you look at it from the side of, right, if you want to be a professional player, obviously you want to try and be the best in the world, you play for the best team and achieve success. So having teams as successful as Astralis is at first and then North really helps, because that's someone from your region who speaks your language, right, who's doing great at it. So you know that it's possible, you have people who've done it before you, and that they really paved the way for the new and up-and-coming players.
Okay, thanks very much.
No problem, thank you.